Everything is in the practice packet today that we're going to be chatting. Doesn't mean we don't want to use the notes. Doesn't mean we don't want to have them out. We might refer back to things, which would be a good idea. But, for instance, when we're looking here at the front of page 5, it says, graph the solutions to the inequalities below. Give your answer in interval notation. You're like, okay, hey, Hardy was actually nice. These first 8, you don't even have to solve anything like we did yesterday. They're solved for already. We just have to graph them and do the interval solution. It's like, okay, this is cool. So I jump in. I'm like, all right, number 1. X is less than -3. So here's -3. We know less than is typically left. And we know that we use a parenthesis if it's just less than, if it's not or equal to. So then I bust out and I go the other way. X is greater than 7. I'm like, okay, so 7 greater than goes like this. Now, before you do interval notation, here's the part I need you to think about, and here's why we're doing these. And I'm not worrying about the example at the zoo. I'm gonna put an example of my own in here. Typically, when you do an AND statement, those are the ones where they come together in the middle. Bless you. And when we do the OR statements, those are the ones that go away from each other. Well, we have a little problem here. This is an AND statement. That doesn't look like an AND statement. That looks like an OR. So what the heck? Okay, when we have an AND statement, it's only the things they have in common that we can use as part of our answer. Well, Hardy, there's nothing in common. They're going apart from each other. This is going nowhere. Well, if they have nothing in common and it's an AND, oh dear, that's going to be no solution. So when you're doing these, you can do all the mathematics right, but if you don't pay attention to that one little word in the middle, it can go, well, not so good. Now, is that going to happen a lot? No. Are you sure? Yes. I give you number 2 as my example. A is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so greater than or equal to. That's a bracket. We're going to the right. And A is less than 6. Okay, I go to 6. Less than. Goes to the left. Hey, they're running into each other. Hey, that looks like what it's supposed to when it's an AND. So this one I can do the interval notation. From my point on the left of my graph to the point on the right. One word in the middle makes all the difference. So you're like, are those the only 2 options with AND? If that is, then we're good. I got one more. Why do mathematicians have to be so crazy? I don't know. Okay, K is less than or equal to 5. Here's 5. So we're less than or equal to 5. And, so we're looking for what's in common. K is less than or equal to 8. You're like, wait a minute. Hardy, they're going the same direction. Did we do something wrong? No, we did not. Well, then what do? Because they're not coming together like an AND is supposed to. They're going the same direction. Remember, with ANDs, it's only what they have in common. So what they have in common here is basically this blue piece right here. You notice the graphs are right next to each other. They're doing the same area. So my interval notation goes from left, arrow, -infinity, to just this right. This is the last place that they're in common, is at 5. Okay? Only the part that the two have in common works. Apart, no solution. Together, that's normal. Two arrows the same direction, you only do what they have in common. Guess what? The ors do the same thing. Oh. So the ors. Let's see. Or, supposed to go apart. These are every answer. We like every answer. Whether they have it in common or not, we go for it with ors. So r is less than -8. All right, less than, we're going this way. Come on, going to the right. R is greater than 1. This is normal. Hallelujah. Left to right on the first one. But I got another piece. So I use the U to tell people there's one more piece. And then we do one more time. Make sure I got this right. Left. And if we're going to the right, that's to positive infinity. That's a normal or statement. Okay? That's straightforward. It's like, uh-oh. So now it's going to be the two weird ones, isn't it? Yep. So what if y is greater than or equal to -2, so we're going this way, or y is greater than 7. Okay, I should have made my arrow longer. Hang on a minute here. Okay. Or every answer, not just what's in common. If this was and, we'd only want this little piece where they have things in common, but we don't care about that. Or it's like, let them all in. We want everybody included. So when you're doing or, and they both go in the same way, you want the bigger one. So here we want the bigger line. When we're in common, we want the shorter line. That's the easiest way to remember it. So here the bigger line starts at -2 and goes off to the right to positive infinity. So you're like, wait, there's not like a union or anything? Not when they're both going the same direction. You pick the big one for or, and we want the little one, or we want the big one. And we're set. So the only option left, and then you have survived about 9 minutes of stuff, and I'm going to get out of the way. What happens with or if, oh, let's see, b is greater than -1. All right, so we're going that way. Or b is less than +1. Oh, dear. Hardy, the combo in the middle. No. It's an or. If it's an or, this one says, hi, nice to see you there, parenthesis. I don't care that you're there. I'm going straight through you. Because I want everything that's greater. And this green one says, hey, nice to see you, the two. I'm going straight through you because I'm going to keep going forever to the left. So if you see or and they cross each other, it's all the answers. Because no matter what number you stick in for B, it's going to work for one of them. We don't care if it works for both, because we want everything, not just the ones that are in common when it's or. Pay attention to the little word in the middle, and use this as your reference point if you need it, because this covers every option you could run into, both for yesterday's work and for today's. So, reminder on what we're doing. So if I do a little rewind here for a moment, He's going back to the beginning. All right. So back when we were doing multi-steps, before we did the ands and the ors, on page 1, we looked at 1 through 4, 6 and 7. Okay. Hopefully that first day you wrote that down. If not, now is a good time to do that, to make sure you've got it. When we get to the next quiz later next week, and you get full credit on your practice, and you kill the quiz because you've done your practice. Okay. The second day, which would have been Tuesday, we did 9 through 16. So the back of this page, working them out. Again, no ands or ors yet. I'll even write this over on the board here in a bit, if that would be helpful. Then yesterday, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong, it wouldn't be the first time. I believe I was nice and said 1 through 6. If I didn't, I'm willing to now. Just again, to get some practice at getting those set. And now today, to make sure that we are in good shape with our compounds here, we're looking at 5 and 6 with the understanding, oh dear, the quiz preview is coming already for us. So middle next week, probably Thursday-ish, I would imagine, we're going to be looking at the next quiz as we're starting towards finishing up here. So again, I'll get these up. If you got questions, let me